Dealership tried to screw over my mom and my dad wasn't gonna let that happen. This is one of my favorite stories about my dad from when he and my mom were younger. When my mom was younger, she didn't have a lot of money, so my dad helped her pay for the down payment on her first car. I can't remember what the brand, besides that it was an Asian make. She drove it around for a few days and suddenly the paint started to chip. When she took it back to them to say, hey, this car is not even a week old and the paint's chipping, they basically told her to take her new car and fuck off. Now my mom is not one to be trifled with, but she couldn't get anywhere with the dealership. So my dad had this great plan. He bought a poster board and wrote, I bought this car a week ago. The paint's already chipping and dealer name doesn't care. He parked right outside their property so that they couldn't tell him to leave, but close enough that every customer going into the lot saw the car and the sign. I'm guessing they felt the sting pretty quickly because they went out to my dad and replaced the car within a few hours. Having a reputation for cars that have issues after a few days can't be good for business. Story 2. Okay, fine, I'll take it to a higher level. I think this qualifies for pro-revenge, but I'll rely on all of you to let me know. After leaving the drive-thru at a fast food place a few years ago, I noticed I wasn't given the correct change. The attendant had just shoved some money at me, and what with trying not to hold up the line, etc. I waited until I pulled ahead to put the change into my wallet. I was missing $2, which isn't much, but still. So I drove back through the lane and mentioned the error, and oddly, the guy knew the exact amount, then left the window and went to the inside counter. I could see him, bent down, and then brought me the $2. It seemed fishy, so during the main shift, I returned and went inside and talked to the manager. He pretty much blew me off and said sometimes they kept money up there, blah blah blah. Since he was the manager, I figured he must not think it was a problem, and it was just a tiny amount of money. But a few weeks later, same drive-thru, same attendant, and the same thing happened again. I gave him a $20 and this time I paid attention. He shorted me by $5, so when he came back, I said, "Oh, I gave you a $20. He literally interrupted me and said, "Oh yeah, I owe you $5. This was too suspicious, and if the manager was too dumb to pay attention, time to go to the main office. If you've ever tried to enter an online complaint for a FF chain or almost anything else, it's a nightmare. I did not want to mention customer service, because that would go to the manager who didn't listen to begin with. So I registered it as a compliance issue for the legal department. A few days later, I got a call. When I launched into my story, the guy immediately tried to divert me to customer service, and I stopped him short with my best pissed mom voice and said, "You need to listen to me now." And then he paid attention. I didn't have any hopes it would go anywhere, but to my surprise and gratification, a week or so later, I got a call from a woman over the entire metro area where I live. She thanked me for my complaint and told me the outcome. It turns out this site had oddly low sales amounts, but had a long-time crew that seemed dependable. So after getting the complaint, they paid a surprise audit visit, ran a report on the registers, and viewed the videos. They had videos of the register and all activities. Wow, the guy at the drive-thru was scamming every way he could figure out. And others were in on it, including the manager. Almost everyone got fired, all but one employee, as I recall. They were logging in refunds that were not given, and then pocketing it, and several other things, including this guy blatantly just plain stealing money. They'd gotten by with it for years because people were trying to get to work, and didn't notice or didn't bother to look into it. Story 3. So you won't pay me back? Well then. 2 months ago I lent some what I thought were friends $700. They came to me begging to help them out to catch up on bills, specifically on their car loan. They told me they were 2 months behind on it and didn't want it repossessed. So me being the gullible soft touch I am, I lent them the money. Now they promised to pay me back $233 per month for 3 months until I was fully paid back. Note, I didn't even charge them any interest. Well, it came to the first month and guess what? Yep, no payment to me. They came up with this really half-baked excuse that they were behind on other bills too now. So the next day I take a drive to their apartment to discuss this with them. What do I see when I walk in their living room? A goddamn brand new 52 LED smart TV mounted on the wall. At first I didn't say anything about the TV. I asked them why they reneged on our agreement to pay me back, and I got the same excuse: we are really backed up on our other bills and have been paying those off too. This is when I pointed to the brand new TV and said, well, WTF is that new TV? And last month when I was here, that was not there. The answer I got floored me. They told me it was none of my fucking business what we spend our money on, and they would start paying me back next month. I was fuming so much I just walked out and went home. Well, I thought to myself, I will give them to next month and see if they start paying me. Well, next month came and guess what? Another fucking bullshit excuse. This time it was their dog got sick and they had vet bills to pay. Now I was fucking pissed off and in full revenge mode. I drove over to their place late at night 3 a.m. in the morning and wrote down the VIN number to their car and the license plate number. The next day I started calling car repo companies to see if the car was up for repossession. Well, guess what it was? Those fucking lying assholes never made a damn payment on their car on over 5 months, I found out. The woman I spoke to was nice enough to tell me who the lien holder was. I then told her I knew where the car was and I was willing to let them know for a finder's fee. They agreed to a $250 finder's fee. I met with the repo agent 3 days later and showed him where the car was and he handed me $250 and then went and hooked their car up to haul it away. Meanwhile, I was sitting in the tow truck the entire time. Next thing I see is those two lying asshole come flying out of their apartment screaming at the tow truck driver that he can't take their car away, that they were all caught up on their payments. That is when I stepped out of the tow truck and they saw me and I said to them, bull fucking shit, you're caught up. I spoke to your lien holder and you're over 5 months behind and this is what you get for lying to me and ripping me off, douchebags. Story 4. Win my auction and not pay. Oh, trust me, you're going to pay. I make art as a hobby. Metal sculptures. I only sell them when I need a bit of money for something. I had a holiday coming up, so listed one here on Trade Me, an auction site, for a $1 reserve. The auction lasted 10 days and the piece got quite a bit of interest in that time, with lots of people adding it to their watch list and bidding on it. It ended up selling for a bit over $500. Perfect. I contacted the winner with my bank details and asked for their delivery address. No reply. Email again. Nothing. I look into his profile a bit and sure enough he doesn't follow through on half things he buys. Fair few grumpy feedbacks from other sellers. He's a complete time waster, TW. I'm a bit pissed. I've already had to pay a listing fee, advertising fees and $40 success fee. I'll eventually get this back, but still annoying. And being in limbo on a deal sucks. You kind of expect the money and kind of don't at the same time. Got me raging. I Google his email, nothing. I check if he has any listings for sale. He doesn't ATM. Besides give him bad feedback, there's not really much else I can do right now. I add him as a favorite seller. This way next time he lists something I'll get emailed about it, but he never does. About a year later, after I'd forgotten all about it, I get a bunch of emails from Trading telling me TW has new listings. Seems TW is packing up shop and moving to Australia. Seems everything has got to go, mate. Ironically, his listing states that everything must be picked up by end of August as I'm moving to Australia, no time wasters. He's got listings for a car, motorcycle, tools, a welder, some furniture, rims and a bunch of other stuff. I give his feedback another quick look to see if he's changed his ways. He hasn't. Over the following week I research what a good price would be for everything he lists. I share all his listings with my friends and get them to add his listing to their watch list so he thinks they are popular. Instruct them to go into a bidding war with me on each item up to a certain amount but no further. I win all of his auctions using a bunch of false accounts. Lucky guy gets top dollar for everything. I reply all the auction winning email confirmations from the various accounts arranging different pickup times for the goods, agreeing to paying cash on pickup for everything. As the week goes on I cancel, reschedule, rain check and delay every pickup. Bearing in mind I'm pretending to be a different person for each item from different SIM cards. On the day I'd arranged to pick up the car, it had been agreed previously that he could continue to use his car up until 2 days before leaving for Australia. Because I'm a nice guy like that, I text him that I'm on my way. See you at 1. I was late, of course. Nearly there, mate. See you soon. Half an hour later, 5 minutes away. 20 minutes later, I'm here. Where are ya? Ignore the text messages and waited for the call. TW, where are you? Me, annoying isn't it? TW, what? Me, annoying isn't it? TW, what do you mean? Me, you know, having someone bid on your auction with no intention of buying it. TW, are you fucking kidding? Me, no, I remember being quite annoyed when you did it to me. TW, who, when, me, I'll let you figure that one out. Click. Over the next few hours I called him as the welder buyer, annoying isn't it? The motorbike buyer, annoying isn't it? Outdoor furniture buyer, annoying isn't it? All of them. To top it off, I gave him positive feedback on everything I bought, saying he was a top trader, easy pickup, good communication. In the coming weeks I was contacted by Trading regarding his dispute. He was wanting to get the success fees back, over $500 altogether. I guess I responded to each of those with the fact that I had already paid and picked it up and was happy with the item. Not sure if he got all those success fees back, but I very much doubt it.